So we've been talking about, giving advice to people, rejecting the advice of other people. And I want to ask you this question. In those moments where you rejected somebody's advice, we talked about in our last session how sometimes people will reject advice because they don't want to receive it from that person. And that kind of led us to that little gem, that little nugget that you dropped on us about being able to receive from everybody. So my question for you is this. When you ignored or rejected the advice that somebody was giving you, what was your main reason for doing that?
Oh man, I didn't want to see myself. I feel like in general, when somebody reads you, you don't want to be read. Okay. Especially if I didn't ask you.
I know, but
yeah, don't read me unless I asked you to read me. And even then, sometimes if you tell somebody, give me the real, tell me exactly. And then they tell you, and you're like, whoa, I ain't mean, give me all of that. Like, we like to have our expectations. And we also like to be able to say, wait, that's not what I said. I did not say that. We want to amend what people say a lot of the times. And we also want people to say things how we want them to. And that's just not how it works. So of course, when somebody gives you unsolicited advice or even solicited advice, and it's not what you want to hear, you're definitely going to shoot it down. And I've been there before, for sure. Definitely.
Oh man. So flip side, when it comes to somebody rejecting your advice, have you ever had that happen? And if so, how did things turn out for them when they didn't listen to, the wisdom that Miss P was trying to bring to them?
I just took it on the chin.
Okay.
I didn't go, how dare you not listen to my advice? It is what it is. You can give whatever you tell somebody or vice versa, they can either take it or leave it. I don't necessarily feel a type of way when people don't take my advice because that's up to them. And vice versa. Somebody shouldn't feel a type of way, even when a lot of times I heard it earlier today. I was on Instagram Live and this girl was saying, she basically said, there's a lot of times where you are talking to somebody or what have you, blah, blah, blah. And there's times where people can go, I don't feel like talking about that. Can we go to something else? Or actually, can we not talk about this at all? And she was talking about boundaries. And I was like, oh my God, I never thought of it like that. But it's true. People can say, ooh, I didn't ask for that. Thank you so much. Not at this time. So you have to be ready for whatever somebody tells you, whether they want to hear it or not. You have to be able to say, oh, well, my bad. But you can't get in your feelings if somebody gets in their feelings about what you said. I'm working on that. I'm so working on, oh my God, how do you feel a type of way about what I said? No, sit in what you said. Sit in it. And it's okay. How somebody reacts is totally up to them. But honey, that's a lot that I got to work on. Oh, child. It's nice to say it, but
yeah, I ain't mad at that. Yeah, it can be tough when what you're saying, is proven, right? Or let me speak for myself personally. There are some things that I see are going on in people's lives, and I know I have not necessarily the cure or the antidote, but I do have a solution to a problem that appears in their life, or one like you mentioned before, that every time I talk to you, you keep you're wearing my ear down with that same problem, and that's when I get to that point where I'm like, I think it's time to deliver some unsolicited advice to you, or I'm gonna have to put my phone on do not disturb. And I'm not gonna let you disturb my peace. You feel
that
me?
Part.
Sometimes you gotta just be like, you know what? That's totally okay. And similar to you, I had to learn that because there's been plenty of times when not even unsolicited, but people come to me asking for insight. And, I ain't trying to toot my own horn or anything, but like sometimes I share stuff with people that I know will work because I'm the type of person, I'm the hit my head up against the wall, run into it, smack dab so many times that, when I tell you something, especially if it's something I've experienced, better believe it's coming from a place of not no theory, but practice. Because I've fallen and I'm trying to prevent you from falling. I don't want you to be falling. I don't even want to see you slip. Yeah, that's how I am. I don't even want to see my friends slip. If there's something that I can do to lend you a hand, I want to be able to do that. But I've come to realize that sometimes people don't want no hand. Sometimes people don't want to hear what you got to say. And in his oldest instances, like you said, then you start wrestling with, well, how do I not get up in my feelings about this person either totally disregarding what I said or just treating me like I'm not even somebody that they can get advice from, which kind of ties back to what we talked about yesterday, where some people really are like, nah, how many letters are before your name? After your name? I don't see doctor, expert. No, no, no. How much am I paying you an hour? 0. So give me 0 advice, please. You got people that's like that, where they're like, if I ain't paying you to operate in this capacity in my life, then I'm going to need you to take several seats. Yeah. And in some instances, we can have people that we really care about take that position. And that hurts. I think that almost to a certain extent goes beyond the, getting in your feelings a little bit. But it actually hurts, right? When it's like, yo, man, I'm trying to help you out, bro, sis. And, that person is just not having.
Exactly. I agree with you.
That's real, man. No, it happens, man. I'm curious, man. From your perspective, is there any instances that kind of stand out for you where you really wanted to help somebody? Like you had the best intentions in mind for that person, but for whatever reason, they just weren't receptive.
Yeah, that's happened recently to me. And it hurts. It does, because you truly want the best for people. But at the same time, sometimes you just have to let it go. Not necessarily the relationship, but just the thought of what you think somebody should do for themselves. And you really have to relinquish that, because we can't control anybody but ourselves. And even that is questionable sometimes. So a lot of the times I have to tell myself, girl, back up. Like whatever happens in somebody's life, you're not in control of that, sweetheart. And a lot of times we can look at other people's situation, better than ourselves. And we have to focus more on our situation and what we have going on, as opposed to fixing other people's lives. This is not a Yanla. We're not a Yanla. We don't have a show where we fix other people's lives. We have to fix ourselves. So a lot of times, yes, it is disappointing when you do want to help somebody and you're like, oh my God, this is the solution. Where in their head, they're like, nah, that's your solution to my problem. I have a solution and this is what I'm going to do. And you have to relinquish control with people. And that's something that I'm really working on. I said in 2021 is minding my own business. Amen. Mind your business. I'm working on it.
That's real. I'm mad at that. Not mad at that at all. Yeah. I feel like both ways, right? To kind of put a bow on this. If you are the person that somebody is trying to give advice to, I think you do owe it to yourself to at least consider whether or not you are in a place where you could receive something that could assist you. I think you should at least consider that. Yeah. And if you are the person on the other side of the table and you're trying to give advice to that person, first of all, I would say, make sure that person is willing to receive. That's one of the things that I learned years ago, is that I used to be wanting to give to people that wasn't willing or even had any interest in receiving anything. And I remember one valuable lesson that I learned from a message I was watching by Dr. Miles Monroe. And he was talking about a gift. He was like, a gift is something that can only be received. Like if you give somebody a gift, like if that person doesn't receive it, then it's not really a gift, because they didn't find any value in it. They didn't put their hand out and say, you know what, I personally want to receive what you are handing me. So if it's not a gift, man, it could be interpreted as any given thing from a person. So you got to ask yourself, is that person even in a position to truly receive from you? So both sides have to look at it, not only from their own perspective, but also from the perspective of the other person as well.
Right.